Hello. Oh. Oh. It is Wednesday, my dudes. Hello, everybody. It is half an hour? A little bit above half an hour since I woke up. So my brain is still scrambled. Had to quickly feed the doggies and take care of all that stuff, so I am somewhat unprepared, but you know what? It's okay. It's okay. We will figure it out eventually. Let me make an announcement. Let me send a post on freaking Twitter and stuff. Eve, hello. How are you doing? Dory, hi! Groggy hours for everyone? Yeah. Yeah, you're here. How are you doing? I'm okay. I just had a terrible time sleeping. Honestly. I couldn't fall asleep and then I kept waking up, so I don't know why, to be honest, but oh well. It's okay. Yeah, I'm gonna what? What was I about to say? Oh, good time. I'm already confused as hell about everything. But you know what, this is fine. Did you eat something yet? I have corned flakes on my lap. Corned flakes or flaked corn, whichever you prefer. Personally, I think corned flakes is funnier because it makes less sense. But whichever you wanna. Corned flakes. Chris, hi! How you doing? Chris is here. Chris is here! How are you guys doing? How's your Wednesday? Are you guys having a good week? Or is it more of those I am existing? I'm gonna start doing stuff after I eat a little bit. Want to see something cool? I do want to see something cool. What do you have to show? Hmm. 15! Wow. You're always existing? That's fair. I need to find this freaking file that I had with the temp. Oh fuck. Oh, hold on. I need to turn on my server. My freaking template is wait, hold on. Unless I just reuse the one I... Maybe I can just extract it from the previous one. Previous commission. Fish! Sorry. Brain is gone. For better or worse. You gave 24. You have 24 hours? For what? It's good that if you watch the VOD later, you save your streak? Oh, yeah. Hebrew Hangout. Hello, Joker! How are you doing? It's a new noise? Yeah, I'm evolving constantly. You think you know everything and then a new noise drops. Unexpected. Delete! Ah! It's gone! Noaya. Exactly, it's Noaya. What do you need to know? What's wrong? Do you not understand Noaya? Big on. Gonna have some gray early stream? Yeah, gonna do some arts while my brain wants to work. Aeiou? Aeiou? You will never understand. Chris, that's a typo. It was supposed to be noise. It's not that deep. It's not that deep. Do you guys have any plans for today? What's in the... What's in the... I was about to say what's in the stars. I'm working. Social. How is it going? Is everything going according to plan? I'm sick? No! I'm so sorry. I hope you get better soon. Man, everyone is sick these days. These days, I say that as if... I mean, this month. What's in the circuits? I'll be doing concept work on emotes that Eve has commissioned for Mimi. And then later I'm just gonna do some coursework, I think. And I would like to say maybe more, but I doubt I will be able to squish in anything more. My brain is like, you done 2 things today? Okay, that is good. That is good enough. Today I have to decide if I want to go to work to the Philippines. Oh, what kind of job? Is it worth it? Would you like to go? I thought you were working for like a bank now. Pretty good money, but I don't really want to go. So, you have to answer yourself this. Do you really need the money? How are you standing now financially? And how long is that? A country drive. Yeah. Armored trucks. Armored truck! Really fun job. Be like, wow. Every day I have to ask myself, is somebody planning an attack on me? I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, it was a joke. What happened, Eve? Well, if I do a job 3 months, I can avoid working for a while. You know? Maybe I can buy a house and rent it. Oh! Well... 3 months isn't necessarily that long. You're gonna rob the truck? No, I'm just thinking about all the silly movies that I've watched. There's this one Polish movie about guys stealing the Leonardo da Vinci La Mona Lisa. And funnily enough, the movie is just called Vinci. It's pretty good. It's a classic, but it's old. If you shoot me in the knee when you do it, insurance room gave me a shit of money. You want to get an arrow in the knee? Jesus. Ah! Oh. I have a bad knee anyway? Oh no. Do you want to augment your knee? When will the time come when we can augment our body parts? My knee's getting bad too. Oh my god, you guys are getting old. It pops all the time. See? I had my back popping ever since I was in like 3rd grade. So I cannot really say anything. But it's not like hurt or anything, it just likes being noisy. My tendon snapped while I was playing rugby. Oh. Cruciate. Cruciate. I crave the strength and certainty of steel. When will Deus Ex body parts be real? I crave them. I crave to have my wonky body parts exchanged. My knees are just bad from years of hard labor. That's true. That makes sense, yes. What is worse? Having bad knees or having bad back? Because it's one or the other. Sometimes you're unlucky enough you get both. My knee was facing the wrong way, oh god. That's terrible. I'm sorry. You definitely need a steel leg. Man, I wish I was smart enough to do that kind of science. Just give me your knee. I mean, do you know how to connect it afterwards? I have consumed the flakes. Yeah, ready. Both? Oh no. I'm sorry. That's not good. not getting my knee. What am I gonna get in exchange? Or a knee? A knee? My everlasting affection. Oh god. What's in— oh. Let me log this layer. Let me save this as something else until before I freaking save over this shit. Oh. Hi, Ivory. How are you doing? How is your day? You can reverse engineer your knee and mass produce them? Hi Ashen! Welcome! How's the day going for all of you guys? Oh goodness. The emotes have— not emotes, but like the kind of chibi you draw on emotes. Some they can be difficult to like really get right because of how wild the proportions are. Awful, that Cloudflare problem has ruined my OBS and stuff. Oh no! Oh no, I'm so sorry! I just feel not very great, I'm sorry. I hope you feel a bit better later. I carry you everywhere, you don't have to walk anymore. Man, are there still— is how broken everything is after that Cloudflare fiasco yesterday? People craving knees. I just want to eat knees. What? What do you mean you couldn't watch anime without your wrist? Do you watch with your hand? Unless I'm misunderstanding. More than half of my stuff, because most of the stuff is made by solo devs and relies on their stuff. Oh no. Oh! I read it all in like one thing and I was like, what? Why is it related? What? Okay, I'm sorry. My bad. Meanwhile, I think I just slept through the Cloudflare incident. You know what? Good for you. It didn't affect me personally that much. All I noticed was that, wow, Twitter wouldn't load, and I'm like, okay, fuck that, not really important. And then, someone linked product, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna look at it, and then look, oh my god, I cannot check the store, it doesn't work here, even though it supposedly works in other areas. Okay, fine, whatever. But yeah, I guess I was just lucky enough that it didn't really do much for me. Maybe Ashen OBS is what broke down and expanded the Cloudflare. No, don't say that! Chris, you have you and you and Ivory have the same streak. Who's gonna break it first? A whole 15. That's 3 times 5. Wow. Stop blaming Ashen for everything. Vanda! God damn it! I'm already slow enough. Hi, how are you doing? How is your day? Oh god. Gee. Can't do anything in this house. Don't bully her? Who? Who's being bullied? I'm confused. Ban... not drawing? No, you cannot. No, you can't. That doesn't work that way. It just means I cannot do anything now because I can not draw and I cannot draw. It's like what? No misspelled redeem. Oh, I think I disabled it for Monday and I forgot. Hold on, I will fix it. Neo, are you familiar with this world famous first VTuber to officially feature in a Doom engine product over here? I am! I am very proud! Oh god. Also that emote is amazing, I love it so much. Explode. Who are we exploding? Hello, Zoya! Who are we exploding? Oh wait, I was supposed to edit the... What's the word? Redeems. For Glor. From famous, believe me. I believe. I have no doubts about it. No doubts whatsoever. Did I enable it? Where is it? There it is. I fixed it. How long has it been since drawing was banned? 2 minutes. Oh god. Amazing. Technically, it's an in-game action, but who cares? You double the price. I have! Pay with your blood! Listen. There was a need for a lot of doodles. Now you... what's it called? It's like basic rules of the market, man. If there is demand, then there is the higher price. I was happy because I could get to drawings. Not anymore. Supply. Demand. Yes, supply is the word I forgot. Thank you for using this for me. I'll ban some jumping next time you play Tomb Raider. You can, because I can just disable that. Think you can get, you know, get away with that. I'm so proud of my troll redeem. You can't even imagine. You know, the funniest part is that I was already taking my time because I was eating. And I was like, okay, I ate. It is time to actually start doing something. And I did it, and I drew this little thing. This little thing, this thing. And then suddenly, oops, you cannot draw anymore. Oh my god. Wait, you feeling sporty? I do not feel sporty ever. Why would I feel sporty? Yes, we need to find some music. Salute comrade emote? Yes. I mean, it's not for me, but... God damn it! Hold on. I've been jumping jacked. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well. Well, thank you. I am awake now. What? Other 10, you don't have points for it, sorry. Wait, has... Okay. I guess it's been 5 minutes. I couldn't sleep all night and now I have to survive till evening to sleep normally. Oh no, I'm sorry! You know what? I also slept very badly. DJ Lucas, thank you for the follow. Yeah, I also slept very badly. I went to bed at like, you know, I think it was like barely after midnight, and I only fell asleep at, I don't know, fucking 3 AM or some shit. It was terrible, and then I kept waking up. What's happening? My windows are like sliding around. What the f— OBS, what are you doing? Can you not? Can you be nice for once? I know you're paying the redeem, yes. I'm just fighting with OBS, sorry. What the fuck happened over there? I can't believe Twitch streamer so I came to my window and knocked loudly in 25 minutes intervals to keep me actually mischievous behavior. Yes, that's exactly what I did, I'm sorry. I couldn't fall asleep, so I was like, you know what, maybe I will make it somebody else's problem as well. Bro, how you see me normally? What do you mean? Okay. Eh. Eh. This is the most control I've had with a mouse in a long freaking time. Is that slander? What? What did I do? Fine, I was doing freaking fantasy imagination. You guys don't like it. Can't have shit in this house. Too late. It's already gone. You know, Gothic. I know Gothic, although I have not played it. I never had it. Should I go? Polarize revoke? No! Gotta go to deployment. Hope everyone lives through the birthday. Good luck! Oh fuck. Jesus Christ. Terrible. Oh my goodness gracious. Trying my best. With the freaking mouse. Oh my god. You need to watch it now? Links allowed? Yes. I thought we were going to the Eve like a peepee with cat ears. You're evil! You're the one who's slandering Eve! What the fuck? Oh my god, the freaking video. Oh my goodness. That's beautiful. Very true. My library is full, and then I still complain because I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Doki, how are you doing? Hello. You caught me in the middle of paint drawings. Does it seem so? Here's live. I'm live! That's why I was thinking you were being mean. You're being mean! When was I ever mean? Why would I be mean to Eve? Get your mind out of the gutter! What the fuck, dude? How do people draw arms? I do not remember how to draw. She's only mean to me when I ask you to. That's not true, she's making it up. There you go, you're done. You're done. Are you happy? This is you and this is Nala. Wee. Where are you? This is me. Fish love. Hold on, let me catch up on the chat. I was like, I was in the zone. Oh my god. I love how amazed you are. I did not expect that. I was like, what is this? What could it possibly be? Hi, Larkspore! Is that the only way? Yes. Snakes watches Papa Craft's tomb. Papa Craft is also Snake's dad? Oh my god! The plot thickens! An arm is kind of like a snake without a head. Oh, you know what? You are correct. You're correct. The only arm trick I know is where you connect the wrist and the shoulder with the line and they make a T, and sometimes along there is the elbow. Why does it sound so scary? I'm sorry, I'm not running over the brain cell, I'm busy with the fish right now. Still a better story than Tomb Raider? Listen, Tomb Raider doesn't have a bad story, just bad freaking level design. Remember? Oh my goodness, I forgot we were supposed to write an email. You were supposed to write an email! This should... this should be my freaking... This... I broke my legs! This should be my freaking... my signature! Oh god. What next? Oh my goodness. It will be difficult, but I'm trying my best. Watching Twilight is such a trap. It is. I never seen all of the movies because I was like, okay. I don't know where this is going, but like... And if I had a good incentive, I would maybe watch it. Like if someone would watch it with me, but I was like, nope. I'm not watching this by myself, are you crazy? What the fuck? I don't need to watch it. I wasn't asking. I wasn't asking for company to watch Twilight. I am good the way I am. I don't need to watch that. Here. This is a very snake. You're getting high quality stuff today. We need to break this because this is supposed to be a two scene frigging Peace. Look at this control. Wow. You ever had this kind of control when drawing with a mouse? I'm pretty sure you're a normal human being and you don't do this. Make comics, maybe to use unpaid work is also a trip. And you're complaining about me raising the price. Swear. Why am I fixing that? It's fine as a Discord watch party. We're not doing that! We're not watching it! We're not watching it! We're watching something better. What the fuck was written on this last time? Oh, okay. This is it. Shrek 2? Oh, we can watch Shrek 2. I will be up for that. I already have the next scene. Jesus Christ. What, like alcohol is peak? Oh, you know what? That might actually, yeah, that might make sense. Yes. But the body, earn it. Earn it! But wait, this implies— hold on, listen. Because someone raised the price, because someone is making me draw these 5,000 times every stream. Sorry, there was a thing on my screen. What was I about to say? Yes, this implies that Lara Croft was skateboarding on her own dad's tombstone? Question mark? Or was it a fake snake dad? The lore thickens. The lore thickens. Anyway, enough of this. We need to go back to the freaking work. For once. Oh my goodness. I'll explain next episodes. Jesus Christ, what are you doing? Freaking Star Wars trilogy? Word of God. The Lara thickens. Oh God. The championship of tomb raiding? What? Excuse me? What the fuck? What do you mean? How does that work? I need more freaking context for this. Oh, I was supposed to turn on some music, I forgot. I don't want this AI bullshit, get out of here. 5 years ago. Great. Every time I'm looking for some music for stream, I have to find something that's like 300 years old. Otherwise it's gonna be AI. Swear to God. This didn't used to be so difficult. Big. Eh. It's also implied that Lara Croft is Liquid Snake. Oh my god. Are you saying that Liquid I mean, there might be more snakes than just two. Do you have proof that there's only snake, solid snake and liquid snake? What if there's Lara snake? A tomb snake? You're a tomb snake. I put the same 12 hours lucky thing every time. Fair. This is a concept, by the way. I know it's ugly. I know it's ugly. Don't judge me. I'm the one creating the story. Fine, Jesus. I judge you positively. Ah! No! Give me back the little mouth. That was so cute. Why did I erase it? Fuck. Lara can be gas. Oh god. This is so cute. Look at this. Yeah, I go back to work. Good luck, Eve. Stay strong. And get home quickly and go into bed because you are sick. Get some get warm tea and get some honey. It will be fine. I promise. Is a cat waiting for her? That would no doubt cuddle. Yes, exactly. A little, how do you call that? A little heater. Yes. No, you misunderstood the nature of the relationship. In this case, Eve is the heater and the cat is heated. Ah, well, but doesn't it work both ways? What the fucking scent? What is this? Oh god. I like it, but it looks so funny. I don't know when the 10th one is. My own cats feel like I'm not doing well, so one of them has been incessantly bringing me her comfort fish plush. Aww. What do you mean? I would be very happy to get a fish. Thank you, kitty. You are a gem. Mostly it's a bit too small for me. Ah, god damn it. I took a decision for the job. I'll send them to another guy I know and I appreciate. Fair. Fair. Doesn't have the same modus operandi, but he's pretty clean in the job. Nice, nice. Okay, I don't know what the 10th emote was supposed to be. Wait, maybe. It was 10. Not crazy. Where is it? Eve, come back! As well as one more. Where is the one more? Guys, it's so cold! What the heck? I'm gonna stretch while I wait. Guys, remember to stretch and get a sip. You didn't in a long time. I've been sipping on a tea, so I'm fine. But I get my meds. I forgot. I forgot to take them. Forgot. I don't think I need the other one too. Yeah, guys, take your meds. Remember, take your meds if you forgot. Meow, meow, meow. We need to exist. Is Roro. 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 Took the ninth, looks at the ninth emote. Do you relate to it or what? Oh my goodness, it could be Isaac. I don't know. I'm just drawing whatever I was asked to do. Fighting over the Isaac. Guys, I've only ever played the original Isaac game. Which, what was that? 2010? When did the game came out? Oh. I mean, technically speaking, there's only one Isaac game. Fair. Hold on, The Binding of Isaac. The last time I played it was in 2013. But there's also... Oh, you're right. Well... But Rebirth is a different release though. And there's also Afterbirth Plus? What the fuck is that? Repentance, that's an expansion? Jesus. Rebirth is a mod and an expansion, but there's a second one! Hold up. Oh no, I'm blind. Never mind. I was looking at Afterbirth. I mean, Steam shows me this. Well, technically speaking this, but this is the one that I own. This is the original one. Minus 69! Let's go! Nice.
Incoming!
Well, then thank you so much for the raid! Hello! Is the- oh my goodness, is my raid alert broken? Hello, how are you doing? I hope you had a great stream. I almost tagged somebody here. Hello, how was your stream? You were also doing art. Okay, so we got the answer as for the last emote. But was good drawing some fan art? Oh, nice. What was the fan art of? Great head. Wherever. I just need a concept. Siren from Honkai Star Rail? Oh, nice. There's also The Legend of Bumbo, which is a pretty fun game and the prequel to Isaac. Jesus. There's so many. I have missed out on so much lore. I'm saying lore as if that makes sense. Why am I trying to erase that? Thank you so much for the follow. Jesus Christ! Demi-click freaking super ass Twitch. Good up above now, enjoy stream, thank you! Have a good rest of the day. Let me fight with this emote a bit more. Actually, this one might be... Let me go for something easier for my brain. N. What the heck? We need this.
Thank you.
Roton! 30 months! What? What do you mean 30? The heck? The heck? Guys, I forgot how chibis are run. What's with the early streams? I'm doing work! I'm doing work on them. Because I find that drawing is easier for me in the mornings. Or, well, early in the day. Oh wait, wrong ear. Supposed to be like this. Imagine working. What do you mean? Swear I'm not at work. Hmm. 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 Maybe, I believe. Ooh, not stretch, not stretch. Ah! Stop stretching it. Just a short break. Enjoy your break. Enjoy your break. Guys, I need a reference. Funny enough, enough time to reference my own art. Because I don't remember how I used to draw emotes. Jesus Christ, what's wrong with me? Well, this one is very unhelpful. Let me find the other one. Let me find the one I did for myself. 2 weeks. Oh, are you gonna enjoy something specific? Or are you just chilling? What was I about to open this thing? This one is bad. This one is bad. Here we go. You have to make a circle. A circle. And then big eyes. How you draw emotes, guys. Look. This is cheat sheet to good life. I've really been stressing about the sale of my house and playing Minecraft. Oh, it's not good to take time off to stress about stuff. That's counterproductive. It's okay, I regularly forget how to write in the programming language I designed for myself and feel stupid afterwards. I feel like that's just normal. It's like, wow, I didn't touch this for a week, and suddenly I don't remember what the heck I was doing anymore. I remember I used to feel very stupid when I was still working as well with programming, and every time I would finish something and I had to switch the task to something else, and then I had to come back, I'd be like, the heck I was doing here again? It's like, wow, am I really this? Am I really terrible? You know, speaking of that, I think that's a feature of that whole imposter syndrome thing. You know what? That might be correct. Yeah, I've been told many times that I have imposter syndrome. Because I always be like, oh my goodness, I feel like I was underqualified for everything I ever done in my life. But I was thinking about how we, you know, teach kids all of these weird things at school, and then I don't know, like if it's expected that they would freaking remember all that shit, like I don't know. Think about all the time you had spent in school, and you had to learn all of the different, say, I don't know, like math problems, how to solve stuff, and all of that. You're not gonna remember any of this in like a year. Sure, you will remember like some basic stuff, but everything that requires some more convoluted operations, you're not gonna fucking remember. You're not gonna remember. How the heck am I supposed to remember all that? And then, you know, they'll be like, yes, we need to give these kids more things to learn. Yes, this is the correct way of doing things. Like, bro, just wasting their time. They're not gonna remember shit. They're not gonna remember anything. The fuel and the biggest confidence booster is a complete lack of self-awareness. Oh goodness. I'm a mathematician by trade. It's less than I don't remember the math they teach in school. It's rather that I'm painfully aware of stuff that's outright wrong. They teach kids in math class. Oh my god. You reminded me of something. I was generally okay with math. I mean, I did go to, you know, my high school class was technically focused on math and, well, computer science and shit. Anyway, so I was okay. I was good with math, and you know, my parents were always like, listen, you have to help your sister with math. She's not doing well in school with that stuff. And like, oh Jesus Christ, do I look like a teacher? But yeah, sure, fine, I will help. And you know, every time I would try, I don't think it happened many times, because I think she was like, I'm not gonna sit with you. I don't want to be taught by you, because she was getting upset. But every time it was like, I am trying to teach her something, you know, trying to help her solve a problem, and she's like, no, we cannot do it this way because my teacher told me that I have to do it this way. And I'm like, oh my god, I don't know what the fuck this new method your teacher is teaching you. I just know how it was done this way, and it is correct. Why is this a problem? And she was always getting so upset. I was like, no, I don't understand. This is wrong. And I'm like, god, why is everything so complicated? Why can't we just continue using the thing that's completely fine? Why do we have to make up new ways of resolving math problems? And it was always a problem of just like, god damn it, I'm trying to help you, but I can't, because freaking school, this is stupid. And it's like, yeah, if you solve this in a wrong way, then they think you don't know it. And it's like, god damn it, Jesus Christ, what the fuck is this? I heard once that learning in school is not about learning stuff, but learning about learning. The stuff is just a bonus. You know, you do have a point in there. Yes. I swear I will buy the next person who tells me PEMDAS is a law of mathematics. What is PEMDAS? I might be stupid. Hold on. I'm gonna Google parentheses, exponent, multiplication and division? Challenge wykonywania operacji. Ah, what the fuck? The only thing about that is I always get upset whenever I get shit. Whenever I see like a game or something do math wrong, I'm like, ugh, this is not the order, what the fuck are you doing? I remember I had this with some shitty demo during Steam Next Fest. It was like, yes, solve this math problem quickly, and I'm like, okay, I solved it. And they're like, no, it's wrong, and like, fuck it. You did in a completely wrong order. How am I supposed to do this if you don't even know your math? What the fuck are we doing here? What if I'm into biting? Oh god. I mean, I don't know. Oh Jesus. Wee. Lucky, how is your day? You doing well? I shouldn't be adding details at this point. But I'm like, I need something here. I need some bases. Okay. Yeah, this is too big. What am I doing? I have to adjust the ears a little bit so that... Yeah, like this. Because we don't want the emote to be too tiny. Everyone's like, what if I'm into biting until I take a chunk out of them? They're like an apple, like they're an apple, and suddenly, oh my god, someone please call the ambulance. Oh god. So what if I want an ambulance? Doesn't mean it didn't feel good. Oh my goodness. Oh gee. Where's that coming from? Well, you do you. I'm not gonna judge. I feel like you're judging. I'm not. Boom, boom. This is a nice break. All I've been doing the last few days was coursework. So it was nice to like do something else for a change. It's kind of crazy that the year is almost coming to an end. Because I felt like I had so many plans and I barely got anything done. We'll have to adjust this later, the leg at least, but I like it so far. It's so cold, Jesus. Oh, let me give something warm. About to snow? there was some snow in the city near, like yesterday, but anything. I have returned. Hope you get like 20 centimeters. Ooh. Do you like snow? So you can stop work? Fair. Is the worst kind of cold too wet cold? Yeah! I hate wet cold! Jesus. Okay, bye, back to work. Goodbye, Proton. Good luck. That's why I'm doing. As a cat refusing to move from the. Go there, kite fuck. Sounds nice. I hear dogs. Seems like someone has returned home. Meow meow. Have you ever heard that dog meow? I swear to God, every time my mother returns, my one of my dogs hears that, she's like meow 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 meow. Also, she like kind of purrs, like. That's funny. My cat barks at me. Well, I think our animals have exchanged brains. I think they got confused somewhere along the way. That head was really flat. I didn't notice. Jesus. Ah, no! I know this emote is emote originally was from a template. I know because I used that template myself for somebody else. Although right now, as you can see, I'm trying to just draw it myself. But like the template has like it has, you know, like arms over here, and it's like I feel like it kind of doesn't really work with what I'm trying to do because the proportions are different. I don't know, but technically speaking, I bet like all emotes have different proportions, so it's not really that much of a problem, but yeah. I'm just thinking how to make this make sense. Maybe like this. No, that doesn't really have that same feeling. Maybe I just made their hands a bit too big. Hold on. Yeah. Do it like this. Maybe if I do like this. I can put the shoulders and it won't look weird. I don't know. I'll see about it later. Oh my god, had my cat got a mouse but turned out to be a perky, massive and dense dust bunny. Oh goodness. Big dust bunny! This commission, well, it was commissioned by Eve, but it's for Mimi. Well, I will link Mimi. Mimi! Just need to make sure that I'm getting the correct thing to achieve. Mimi. Oh yeah, I almost linked a different person. Whoops. I almost linked a different person. This is Mimi. He's really cute and really nice. I like this. It looks so weird. Alien. Make the head's a bit too small, I just realized. I'm just blaming it on my forgetfulness. And then drawing emos for a while. I should lower this entire thing. Lasso tool, what the heck are you doing? I'm trying to select. Why are we a brush? The heck? Oh, I pressed a button on my tablet by accident. No. Too much. No! I'm trying to deselect a part. There we go. Ah, Jesus Christ, I almost threw my freaking cap off the desk. Jesus. I was reaching for my mouse and didn't realize that I put my cup next to it. I almost yoinked it down to the floor. My tea is cold. Cup mouse technology, yes. Hi Firebot, how are you doing? Ugh, I got the rest of my tea. It was kinda gross because it was cold. It's okay. Oh, fourth place, I'm good. Yay, nice. Now you can watch me at my work. I quite like these eyes, but I need to bigger. That's the plan. Also, I am happy to. I mean, I did write it on the schedule already, but I am happy to say that we will be playing Final Fantasy III tomorrow. Because, as you can remember, I mentioned it. Well, I technically mentioned many times that I do not own the game, and that we would have to wait for freaking Moda having a strong. Yeah, it's because I'm looking down on the tablet. I would have to probably put the camera in a different spot, but I don't really have a better spot for it. But yeah, as I was saying, I was mentioning that because I do not have Final Fantasy III, that we would have to play something else until the Steam sale. But that's not a problem anymore. So we can continue with the plan with the great list. And that means we will be starting Final Fantasy III tomorrow. And then some other stuff will be there in the meantime. But yeah, we are catching up with the list. So it's very nice. I feel like that looks worse, but hold on, let me look from the. Okay, I think this is good enough. For now, I mean, this is a sketch. What am I doing? Which one is F3? Don't ask me. I'm the one playing it for the first time. I don't know anything. The finaliest something. Also, Buddha, hello. Do you prefer Buddha or Guadalajara? Or maybe something else entirely. I know 1, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. I know 1, 2, and 14. You can call me anything except late for dinner? Oh my god. Where did that come from? I need to... I wish I had more buttons. I wish I had more buttons on my tablet. Because I'm finding the need to rotate quite often recently. I wasn't a big user of rotating. In Clip Studio, I would usually just flip. I wouldn't rotate much necessarily, but recently, as I've been doing my course, I just kind of realized that, you know what, it's actually a pretty nice. It's not that I, you know, I didn't see the use of it. More like I just didn't really feel the need to use it, and now it's changed, and like, fuck. It's such a bother to rotate anything because I don't have a shortcut that's easily available. I have to reach for my freaking keyboard for that. Maybe I could install that weird Clip Studio Companion app on my computer, on my phone or something. I can use it for more buttons. There's also this tab-made controller. What the fuck is Kumarian? Marian? What? Clips. What? Oh. What the heck? It's a. Ah. Technology. Hold on, look. I didn't know this was a thing. So you have this figurine that you can pose, and it will pose automatically in your software. And you can use it for, I think this is... For Kuma. Okay, I don't know what this is. I'm guessing this is just their... Oh, Pose Studio for Kuma. Okay, never mind. And, Windows XP! What? And you can use this in Clip Studio to model the 3D models you have in the... You know, like... Fuck. These things? You can have a 3D model here, and you can use this thing, this figurine that's electric, this computer that's connected to the computer, to model your thing in real life. That's pretty cool. I don't need this for any means, but I didn't know this was a thing. That's very awesome. Oh, nice. You can send a PC to emulate XP. I guess so. XP might be low, but I based you so much. Why are you gone? It's what? Did someone just... Is this drawn on top? No, it's not. Never mind. I saw this. I found this image, and I thought this was actually drawn on top of the model, but no, this is just like digitally added. I used XP for such a long time. I never used Vista or Windows 7. A guy who ran Vista in XP mode and made it look like 98. That's... That's such a combination, Jesus. Wait, Kumarian was a thing since 2013? Eh? What do you mean? I wonder how much it is. I don't want to buy it. I'm just very curious. $959, but this is on eBay. Okay, that's just... Oh, never mind. I was like, okay, this is cheaper on Amazon. No, this is just a book. Never mind. Kumarian, how much are you on Amazon? Who the fuck knows? It's not available. Amazon JP. Maybe over here. CD-ROM. Sadly, it's not available. Who knows anymore? Who knows? Goodbye, Kumarian. It's such a neat idea, though. I know I'm getting distracted. Can I... What do you mean? This freaking thing doesn't have a Wayback Machine listing? Ooh. Listing? What are you saying? What do you mean it's not like backed up? I'm just curious. I want to know how much it cost when it was a thing. Strangest thing I have heard is the term optical media. Why is it strange? Why do you find it strange? Ugh. The fuck knows? But this thing isn't backed up anyway. I was about to check how much is TabMate controller and not Kumarion. I just found it by accident. I was curious. Young kids don't call it CD or DVD. I mean, it was called optical even back then. But no one ever like held a CD in their hand and be like, this is optical. media. Tabmate 2. I lived back then. Nobody said optical media. I mean, I'm not saying it was said, but it was just advertised as it. Like, if you took a CD, it would be said. It would be written somewhere on the case or some shit. At least I think. I'm pretty sure. I like. Listen, I've seen it. I do not know where exactly, but it was a thing. The young couple don't like the disc spinning and the sound. What? But it's such a beautiful sound. Oh, Tabmate is like a pilot. What? Buy on Amazon, buy on Tokyo Otaku Mode shop. Tabmate 2 on Amazon is unavailable. Tabmate on Tokyo Otaku Mode is $79. That's expensive. Well, it's not all that expensive, but you know. Wow, it's a button. I guess it makes more sense for people who draw on like iPads and stuff. I just need more buttons. When you say dollars, you mean dollaridos or euros? I mean dollaridos. Dollarido. Oops. Triangle ears. I feel like I'm drawing Powerpuff Girls. All in all, I don't really need all of that equipment, but I do like looking at it. I feel like this... Oh my god, okay. The playlist has changed. I was like, what the fuck? Why does this sound like there's two songs playing at once? Thankfully this is not AI because this was also like uploaded 4 years ago, but Jesus Christ, what the heck is this? Can I get normal song? Like... How can I search for shit that was uploaded more than 4 years ago? Dance in left ear and Jolly Christmas farts in the right ear? Yeah, it's something like that. The hands, they are too tiny. Fix them. Fix them now. The heck? I can smell garlic. What the heck? I live in Korean too long to be able to smell garlic. Wait. Oh god, okay, I sadly I have to end because there's food. That's why I smelled garlic. I was like, oh, they're probably just starting to make it. No, it's on. Oopsie. It's only been 2 hours, but hey, it's been a nice warm up. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll be working on it afterwards, and I'll be back tomorrow. Meanwhile, let me rate Sajini. Damn, it smells like food. Shit, there's food. Listen, I didn't expect it this early. Let me rate Sajini. Finally I can rate Sajini. Whee! Guys, remember about fish. So I'm gonna go eat. You guys take care. Have a great rest of the day. I'll do a bit more work after I'm done eating, but I will not stream. I will be back to stream tomorrow with Final Fantasy 3. So I hope you guys are looking forward to that. And yeah. Till then. Good night. I was about to say, but no, don't sleep. It's not the time. Have a nice dinner. Thank you, Scoop. Bye bye.